Well, what's up, everybody? Hope you enjoyed those interviews yesterday. And don't worry, there's going to be more coming soon by next year. And I'm going to be going, hopefully, around the country interviewing other, astrologers just as good as Mr. Manley and Mr. Juppy. All right, so if you haven't checked those interviews out, check them out. Just shot them yesterday. So, Mercury in the fifth house. What happens when Mercury comes into your fifth house? Well, what is fifth house? Fifth house is a house of your children. Fifth house is a house of creativity. Fifth house is a house of romance. It's a house of your education. It's a house of learning the ancient text. It's also considered the house of Purva Punya Bhava, meaning your past life deeds are seen through this house and how good your deeds were. It's a house of speculative business like stock market, gambling, cinema, acting, publishing, writing. Okay. It's a house of, poetry, music, anything like arts, craft, anything to do with just having fun with life is fifth house, including learning. Learning also is a creative, a fun part of life. Even only now we have given it that academic learning house, but it literally is learning through creativity. So when Mercury comes here, which is communication, your intelligence, your logical mind, and how you comprehend things. First of all, it makes you a very creative writer and publisher. You have the gift of the gabs when it comes to, putting words together, whether it's poetry or publishing and writing. It gives you an art of mimicking. Mercury is very good at art of mimicking. All these people that you watch on Saturday Night Live, in NBC on United States, they have these parodies, professional parodies called Saturday Night Live. And there are probably a lot more and a lot better parodies on YouTube now. But simply the art of mimicking, like if somebody can mimic Tom Cruise, how good of a job they can do. Somebody can mimic Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan, how good of a job they can do. Like, get on! Or like Tom Cruise, like, yeah, so these mimicking things comes through Mercury and his talent. So usually in the third house, fifth house, first house and 11th house is usually a good placement for having the ability to mimic. So they have a very skillful talent in acting. They know how to play different characters at any given moment. And here Mercury's ability of his signification of intelligence grows. He wants to learn. But here, like I was talking about in the third and fourth house, they can be astrologers. Well, to truly look at a place to become an astrologer, your second, fifth, eighth, and 11th house must be very prominent. And especially the fifth house, because fifth house is about the house of learning ancient texts. Ancient, philosophical learning. Even though ninth house is a higher philosophical learning, this is the actual recitation of, the ancient text. So this is why Mercury here makes somebody curious about ancient text, like the Vedas, Rig Vedas, Atharvaveda. And these are the parts where you will learn about Jyotish, Vedic astrology, where you will learn about the nakshatras, especially in Atharvaveda and Rig Veda is all about nakshatras. So a keen interest in astrology, keen interest in the mystical science of the world, especially depending upon the sign that Mercury is in. This makes of somebody who uses their intelligence to make money through speculative business, meaning stockbroker, gambler, people who bet on horse racing, who bet on like sports betting, somebody who loves going and gambling. They're good at cards, they're good at blackjack. Their intelligence, allows them to do this. And here the Mercury's logical thinking takes a creative turn. Their logical thinking is so good that creatively they're able to manipulate things. Creatively they're able to get what they want. Because creativity and intelligence is a very powerful combination. And this is where Mercury is able to sustain that. Here Mercury has love. They love to communicate with children. They love talking with their children. They love playing with their children. When they come in contact with children, they become kids themselves. They will, even if they're 50 years old and kids are playing hide and seek, they will take part and then they will play hide and seek seriously. Is that it's just Mercury is that part of our life that wants to be youthful all the time. And fifth house is about fun. It's about learning and it's about fun. It's about creating things, creativity. And so here the passion becomes all things related to communication and creativity. So the communication becomes a creative process as well with this. Fifth house is a house of romance as well, because romance is creating of love. It's the creativity of love. This is why romance is separate from marriage. But from the fifth house, the seventh house becomes third from Mercury. That means Mercury is very much involved with the art of communicating in romance. These people become very charming when it comes to romance. And for them, being in a relationship or romance becomes that art of communication, art of creative communication. They actually learn, since fifth house is a house of learning, they learn a lot about life by using their communication skills in romance. Like Mercury loves romance, just like Venus. But of Mercury, obviously, it's about intelligence more than relationship. And so they love they love having stimulated conversation with their opposite sex or same sex, depending upon which country you live. Okay. And so the romantic part become that skill, because third house is a house of skill. So third from Mercury becomes that skill from Mercury. So third from fifth house for Mercury is the seventh house of relationship and marriage. So being in a relationship and romance is kind of like a natural skill that they have. And then from the fifth house, Mercury aspects the 11th house of hopes and wishes, of incoming gains, of your professional network circle. And so here Mercury uses his intelligence and his logical mind to create wealth, especially self-made wealth. Wealth made through Mercurian things, which is intelligence and its communicative ability. Speech. Mercury is a speech as well. So through your communication of written or verbal communication, through your speeches, through your political speeches, you're able to gain. Because fifth house is a house also of interest in politics. But of course, you may not have interest in it right now at all. I never had any interest up until I was like 29. Literally, before that, I couldn't care less what legislative government was, what executive government was, what our Congress is doing. But now I'm more involved in that. And so with age, people tell me a lot, oh, I have Sun in the fifth house, but I hate politics. And once I find out, like I test it, I'm like, okay, what's your birthday and all that. And when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, the timing is not there for them to get interest in politics. But, here Mercury's intelligence makes you a good political analyst as well. But more so, you gain through your intelligence because of its aspect on the 11th house. You are able to create network circles because of your intelligence and your wittiness and your quick mind. You know how to, just quickly get things in your favor. And so a lot of gain through speculative business. So if you're an author, you're a writer, you're an actor, you're going into stock market business, you're going to any kind of finance or speculative business where it's always up and down, this could be the place for you where you will not be bored, because Mercury gets bored quickly. But when Mercury is in a speculative business, it keeps his mind going because he has to constantly think. He has to constantly work towards getting those things. If it's a routine job, Mercury will get bored because Mercury's abilities are not being utilized. So this is one of the very good houses for Mercury to be in. All right. So guys, this was my analysis of Mercury in the fifth house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe above because I'm going to be covering maybe your Mercury next. And if you want to know where your Mercury and your other planets are placed so you can know thyself, check out my link below. Check out my book there, Astrology at the Speed of Light. And when you get the book, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. Otherwise, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey, what's up all you chaos lovers? So make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and please share my channel with all your family and friends who are in love with astrology. Because I'm the man when it comes to astrology, okay? So make sure you do that, and I will see you tomorrow with another cool new video, okay? Sorry, I love my coffee spiked. Woo!